Yeah. Yeah. I know they mad for no reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Gotta move fast for a reason. I'm holding on to change my life. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Oh, 700K, I'm selling a Bitcoin. Haters mad, but they listen to this one. More profit coming to my direction. Yeah, you know me, I don't need a mention. I got the remedy, ooh, yeah. They don't just follow me, ooh, yeah. You say allegedly, ooh, yeah. You would subscribe to me, ooh, yeah. Staring at chart, drawing a line. Make a decision, you out of time. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. Huddling, I'm staring at charts until I retire. Yeah. See what I'm saying? On-chain revolution. Done this. Boom.
Welcome back to On-Chain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. I'm by myself today, so no Iago B, but we have amazing stuff to talk about. I have a huge show. I went through so many different topics getting ready this morning. I am hyped to bring them all to you guys, man. Really excited. Today, I'm going to be really needing the comments, so guys, please hop in the comments today. I'm going to put that right over there so I make sure I can see them ASAP. So really excited. So basically, I want today's show to be semi-bullish, right? Because I am really bullish for November, even with the dismantlement Jerome Powell tried to do yesterday. So we're going to get into all that. Right now, let's just kind of jump in to kind of see what the prices are, the price action of everything. So, but if you are here, man, put something in the comments. Let me know you guys are here today. Shout out to Webdro hopping in. He said more resistance and during his training. Yeah, man. So let's actually show these charts I have here. All right. So right now we have, Bitcoin sitting at 108,236. Let me click on Bitcoin, kind of show that full chart here. All right, so look at this. It's just been sideways. So this is a daily chart here. Nothing really going on. I thought originally that we do need to come down and touch this line. So this line has been something that I've been following. If you take a look at it on the weekly, it's pretty much just up only. But we have come down and touched this line every single time we really taken back off. So coming down here, let's just say we touch it in, let's just say November, would be 96. I don't think that's the worst thing that could happen. I think that's actually semi-bullish in a sense, because then we can kind of lift off. I don't want to. I'd rather just kind of hang out here for a little bit and then touch it maybe in April. Maybe come back down here after going absolutely parabolic. But who really knows, right? I don't even know if this line's going to really hold up if we do go to numbers that I think we can hold up, you know what I mean? And maybe a dip back down to like the bear market touching it. But I'm still truly bullish in November. I know it doesn't feel that way. I know how everything kind of feels right now, especially with Ethereum. We had this line here at 46 where it came up, touched it, came back down, came up, tried it again, came back down, came up, touched it, and then broke down completely back early this year. And then came back up here and got above it, and now kind of retesting it. It does not look great. We did break below it, but it does look like kind of like a bull flag here. But if we need to make sure we kind of get back up there again, Tau, something I'm truly bullish on. It's been sideways here for a really long time, probably since like February, March. Even November, really, since it's got in this pocket here. Very bullish on Tau and everything they're building over there, with the Bitcoin, similar Bitcoin tokenomics, but they have all the subnets and everything that bring in the Tau there. And then Agent Hustle, Jake posted something on the timeline today. I know it doesn't look great, but I think there's a partnership or something happening today. So really bullish on Hustle, especially for today. Merlin Chain. You guys know how I feel about Merlin Chain. Merlin Chain is, in my opinion, one of the top L2s. And I think L2s are getting really bad name here because like Bitcoin L1 has been just so tremendously boring lately. And I think a lot of these L2s, especially with Merlin, where you can deposit a Bitcoin and get 15% APY on just sitting on Bitcoin, and it's been going on for over a year. There is some trust there because it is custodianed by them, but they're actually taking your Bitcoin and earning yield for you. I don't know. I think what Jeff's doing over there is absolutely insane. The amount of institutional buying that's happening as well. WebJoe says if we drop below 107 for too long, yeah, dropping below 107 would not be great, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I do think we get a little bullish in November, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly why. Let's actually jump into that right now. So the main topic of today is November could be the biggest month in crypto. Here's why. So we do know there's a government shutdown right now. The government shutdown has been going on for over 30 days. As tomorrow kind of hits, people with SNAP, I think it's the welfare stuff. If they're actually not going to get any type of food stamps or anything going into November, even if we get to tonight. So they have to either make a deal today or people will not get anything when it comes to SNAP in November. So I do think the government shutdown is going to be something, a catalyst, because it was something what Jerome Powell said yesterday. And we're going to get into that a little later. Another reason why I'm bullish is, we got to deal with China. So this is something you got to remember. October 11th, Trump came out and basically said that, we're going to do 180% tariff on China. And then after today, we got something actually really, really good coming from that. He actually came out and he said he's dropping it to, I think 45% or something. Yeah, 45%. And, he's going to be meeting with him very, very soon. So, no, he met with him last night. So that's all good to go. Here it is. So the Trump tariffs cut from 57% to 47%, fentanyl tariff reduced to 10%, and rare earth dispute officially settled. So we're done. This China stuff is behind us. We kind of look past this now and kind of move on. I think that's the biggest thing here is moving on to kind of get into better, days. And now, Trump has done everything when it comes to all these deals. Everything's kind of settled. All this tariff stuff's kind of behind us. I'm looking forward to a day where I don't have to hear that word anymore. And it's just kind of, it is what it is, but we'll see. So as of right now, we are kind of seeing, the month right here and negative 3.4%. We do have one more day. So tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's the 31st. So we're going to be looking into that and kind of seeing if we can end up green. So the last time that we ended the month negative in the red, we had a terrible, terrible November. And then previously to that, we had a 12-month red all the way down there at the bottom. Let me actually get this off the screen down here. And we had a really good November and then a really bad December. But I'm actually hoping this turn green here and we can have something very similar to over here or over here. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, we have one more day there. Going into some of the stuff here, we're seeing barely any top signals. So there's no top signals in the market for this market. The top here would be absolutely ridiculous. I just don't think it's happening. What's up, Chief Axel, my guy? I appreciate you being here today. I just don't see that happening at all. I just can't see it. 49%. How many of you guys think this is the actual top? Do you guys think this is really the top of everything? Do you think that we're going to see a year bear market, especially next year with Powell getting out in May, and we're going to have a new Fed chairman who's going to be very nice to rates. We're going to get rates down to 2%. I just can't see it. I just can't see it. And on top of that, bulls versus bears. If you look on chain, everyone is bearish. So if everyone is bearish, if everyone is short, basically, and I have this chart here. Okay, right here. This is the short and long positions. So if the market keeps going down, the shorts are going to keep winning. And we know Binance, OKX, BitMEX, these guys, they don't let you win for too long. They don't let you win for too long. 71% short, that just shows me a short squeeze is coming. That shows me in the next week or so, the next 2 weeks, we're going to see a massive short squeeze, and it's going to be absolutely huge. Everyone is so bearish that the path of most pain right now is to go bullish in November, is to have Bitcoin go up 30-40% in November. That is the path of most pain. A lot of people are going to get hurt here. The James Wins of the world, who you basically you get this feeling in the market and they just kind of go with it. And they've been right so far. But I think a lot of those people are going to get hit hard, and I think they're not even going to see it coming. I think it's going to really kind of push us into potentially all-time high for Bitcoin, all-time high for Ethereum, and all-time high for all these altcoins that have been suffering. I mean, we've been in potentially a bear market for over 2 years. I mean, you can even go back to 2022, honestly. It's just been completely awful, but that changes. You can only be, so bearish for so long before you get smacked in the face, and I think they're about to get smacked in the face here. I mean, look at Gate, right? 90% short. 90% short. Adobe, 60% short. Everyone is short right now. So to me, the path of most pain, especially for today and tomorrow, is Bitcoin getting it back above 110, even 113. I'm thinking potentially going in to tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. It is 11 o'clock. We and we're sitting at 108. We'll see what the rest of the day comes. But seeing this 93% short on Bitfinex, right? So yeah, it is what it is. I think these are about to get short squeezed to hell there. So yeah, so we had talked about this already. The China news is actually really bullish. Webdro says, what you say there, buddy? What's up, Rolando? My guy. Appreciate you being here today. The best traps make the best short squeeze. Exactly. This is, in my opinion, a trap for the bears here. It's like, hey, yeah, be bearish, and then smacked right in the face. Shout out to Stan. Stan says, is Bitcoin security in jeopardy as Bitcoin mining companies switch to scaling AI? Dude, so you got to think. Bitcoin hash rate has been an all-time high every single month for the last 12 months. Were you worried about Bitcoin, 4 years ago when the hash rate was half of what it is today? No, you weren't. You were very happy with it. So it's only a matter of, we don't need that much hash rate. The maxis will say we do, but we don't. We don't need it. And I think, pivoting to AI is going to make it actually more profitable for some of the miners and stuff like that. I hope some of the miners actually go to AI. I mean, the hash rate, I think, in my opinion, is too high. And we need to kind of pull that down a little bit. I don't know. I'm completely okay with it. I don't think Bitcoin needs as much security as everyone says. And the only security it needs is to be quantum resistant. And we got to get that going on. But, Bitcoin Core is focused on stupid shit like the BIP 444 crap, where you're trying to take the JPEGs out of Bitcoin and stuff like that, or stop them from going in. I don't know what they're trying to do, but it's just ridiculous. They need to start focusing on quantum resistance and not worry about this. But if you weren't worried about Bitcoin 4 years ago, you shouldn't be worried today, because even if we do drop 50%, Bitcoin still is the most secured cloud system in the world. Myself said bull markets and euphoria, not depression. Not in a depression, and in euphoria, not in depression. Exactly. So going back to there is no signs. Like, there's no signs right now of a top. There's no signs of it. So which tells me that most people are bearish because, past data says this. And it's like, once we get to a certain point, that goes away, right? Like, everyone was talking about, a year ago, or even like 9 months ago, that we're potentially in a left translated cycle. Obviously, we're in a right translated cycle, right? So we're going to be extending potentially a year, if not longer. I'm thinking we're going to get a left translated cycle that kind of lasts up until, November 2026. And then, or that's a right translated cycle, and then we get a left translated cycle in 2027. That's kind of what I'm thinking, possibly, but we'll see. All right, let's move along though. I got so much to cover here. Tom Lee, Bitmine, has bought more Ethereum. They bought $113 million of Ethereum today. So we do know they bought over the weekend, and they're buying again today. Tom Lee is saying buy the dip. Tom Lee is somebody that I truly, truly respect. And, in my eyes, is probably going to be the biggest winner out of this cycle. Shout out to Lackey Lukey's here. Appreciate you, my friend. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If I'm wrong about anything, put it in the chat. Let me know. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I want today's show to be strictly about you guys, man, and answering your questions, and kind of you guys being my co-host today. So just let me know what you guys are thinking. All right, let's kind of jump into some stuff here. Okay, so Fed Chairman Powell says December interest rate cut is far from certain. Fed Chairman Powell says President Trump's tariffs are causing higher overall inflation, and the Federal Reserve is to end quantitative tightening on December 1st. Okay, let's kind of work backwards here. So This is something that I'm so happy about. Him kind of not saying it happened yesterday. It's actually saying that it's going to happen December 1st, because Bitcoin kind of usually tops, before the quantitative tightening ends, because that's how people front run the pause, by getting in the risk assets like Bitcoin, and then people front run the actual easing part. So once we get into the pause in December, people are going to start front running the easing part. And when they start front running the easing part, that is when the altcoins run. So we could potentially see Bitcoin top for the year in November, and then altcoins run crazy in December. And when I say top, I mean for this year. I don't mean for the cycle. And I do think that next year, Bitcoin does hit crazy numbers, potentially between 300 and 700K. I know you guys are going to call me crazy, but I'm still thinking Plan B's stock to flow chart will get close. Maybe it won't hit it, but I still think we can hit potential numbers as governments kind of get into buying Bitcoin. We haven't even seen the U.S. do anything yet, right, when it comes to it. And we do know Trump is super bullish on getting Bitcoin in the hands of the government. But we will see. We'll see what happens with that. And all right, let's work our way back here. So Jerome Powell says Trump's tariffs are causing higher overall inflation. And in reality, he has no idea, right? Right now with the government shutdown, we're only getting CPI, and the CPI came in low. So one of the tools the Fed has, one of the tools that he really, really has is his words, right? So he knows the questions before he gets to the podium. So he knows what the people are going to ask him before he gets to the podium. So the question, was phrased so terribly that, it basically says December interest rates cuts are far from certain. So they asked him on purpose. They said, is there a far gone conclusion that we're getting a rate cut in December? And he says no. Obviously, he always says no. He always says the data is going to tell him. He never tells you what's going to happen at the next meeting. Never, ever, ever. He always says it depends on what the data says. So for this question to even be asked, it's a complete setup. And Jerome Powell has said in the past, he said in the past multiple times that one of the tools the Fed can use is their words. And he's using it right here. He's using his words for that. So I just don't understand why we had this dramatic fall, but it was manipulated like it always is. They want the longs gone. This is exactly what they want. Exactly what they want. Look at Gate.io. There's 100% shorts. I mean, this is what they want. Before they take this thing higher, they want this. They need this. This tells me that November is going to be one of the most bullish months in history because of this. Because there's barely any long leverage. I mean, there's no long leverage on Gate right now. You're going to see short squeezes like crazy. And they're not going to give up. They're going to keep shorting. They're going to short higher, and then they're going to get totally destroyed because they're going to be thinking the cycle's over when the cycle hasn't even begun yet, in my opinion. And shout out to Stan, my guy Stan's here. Appreciate you, my friend. He said, who wins the X402 race? We're going to get into that a little bit. I have a really good explanation of exactly what that is. But I don't think the X402 race is going to be as big as the X80 or the ERC 8004 race. I think that is going to be the biggest race because that is absolutely amazing. We'll get into that a little later, I promise. All right, so back to this now. Okay, we did say Gate. Oh, Gate's still 0. It's absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane to me. All right. Moving along, though. All right. So we got in this. All right. And another reason why I'm extremely bullish for November is the guys from winter. We kind of went over this yesterday, but them coming out and saying softer CPI and Trump as the improvements headlines gave markets a lift with yields easing. We do know Wintermute is Binance's hitman. Right, when they want the price to go lower, when they want the price to drop, they send crypto to Wintermute, and Wintermute does the job for them. And Wintermute is a market maker. They say they're a market maker, but what happened October 11th, right? If you're making markets that day, I don't know. These seem like just a hitman, but them coming out and saying, "Hey, we might go the other way." And you got to remember, them being a market maker, they can go the other way. They can, Binance can send them money, and they can go into the market and buy assets like crazy. Binance can do it themselves. I think Binance is one of the biggest reasons why we've been sideways all this time. And I do think that stops soon. They only have so many assets they can continue to send to Wintermute before they don't have any. And they have to actually have to go into the market and start buying them. And I think that happens really soon here. My guy Stan has a question. He says, how important was the job report for Powell's decision? Is it true he didn't have access to? So some people will say yeah, some people will say no. I think he has access to all the data. way before it. Even if there isn't anything, he probably has a team of people that actually go out and track this stuff for him. So I think the jobs numbers has been tough, and I think it just gets worse, especially with AI right now. You've seen, Amazon come in and lay off, I think it was like 16,000 workers or something like that. UPS saying they're going to lay off workers, and they're not just like cutting them to cut them. They're cutting them because AI is replacing them. AI is replacing them fully. So the jobs market is going to get worse and worse and worse, and it's not going to get better unless we cut rates dramatically, insanely, and to the point where all these businesses have a lot of money to hire people. So we'll see, because that's what businesses do. When the rates get lower, they take out loans. They build, right? They hire. They hire contractors to build more in the facility, and they do things, right? And especially when that stuff, is a tax write-off, right? They borrow, use that money as a tax write-off, so they actually pay less taxes. So when you see a business remodeling or something, a lot of that time, it's just tax write-offs. It goes against their income. So they'll borrow at cheap rates to do that, and they actually make money on it because they pay less in taxes. So I think, as we get rates lower and lower, especially down to 2%, we're going to see more and more of that. All right. So news today came out, MasterCard to buy Zero Hedge, a crypto infrastructure firm powering stablecoin and tokenized payment rails, a $2 billion move to bring crypto settlement directly into MasterCard's network. So we saw this today, and yesterday we saw Visa now supports stablecoin payments across multiple chains. How can you be bearish right now when you have Visa and MasterCard using crypto rails for settlement? Think about that for a second. We now have use cases in crypto that we didn't have 4 years ago. We are now the infrastructure for Visa, and MasterCard credit cards. This is absolutely insane. Crypto now, you can't talk anything about crypto anymore. Crypto has all the use cases necessary to actually be the strongest, settlement layer. It really could. It could. I mean, Stripe's building on crypto rails as well, and Stripe right now is that. So, all right, let's get into the next thing here. All right, so so with that too, I want to bring this up as well. So Fed decision in December, it's still looking like it's 25 bips, right? People are putting their money where their mouth is. This is down 16%, though. It was 85 yesterday. So now it being 70%, I think that we're still going to see potential, and what Jerome said yesterday. And let's actually show that real quick. So let me just get the volume going for you guys. So basically what he said yesterday was completely just set up. It was almost like, yeah, I'll just let you hear it for yourselves. If you guys can hear it.
So,
Edward.
Thank you, Edward Lawrence with Fox Business. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to take another crack at the further reduction in rates is not a foregone conclusion. So in December, he said, far from it. So if a cut might not be on the table for December because of lack of data, what does the other concerns then stem from? So if it's not lack of data as the reason December is not a foregone conclusion, what other things could be the concern then? Well, the perspectives of people on the committee that, we've now moved 150 basis points, and that we're down into you're into that range between 3 and 4, where many estimates of the neutral rate live in that 3 to 4% area. You're there now. You're above the median number for the committee, but I think there are people on the committee who have higher estimates of the neutral rate, and that's you can argue these positions since it can't be directly observed, the neutral rate. So, I think for some part of the committee, it's time to maybe take a step back and see whether there really are downside risks to the labor market, or see whether in fact the growth that the stronger growth that we're seeing is real. Ordinarily, the labor market is a better indicator of the momentum of the economy than the spending data. That's the lore. In this case, that gives a more downbeat read. So people just have, we've cut 50 more basis points in the last 2 meetings, and there was a sense like from some, let's pause here, kind of thing, and a sense from others wanting to go ahead. But that's why I say differing views, strongly differing.
So basically, he's what he's doing is he's just using his words to kind of structure the market. So that is one of the tools that he has. He doesn't want the S&P. He doesn't want Bitcoin and all this stuff to kind of go higher, because what that does is that gives people more money. That gives people more money for inflation, right? So that's not what he wants. So he wants markets to drop here. So yesterday that was his goal, but I don't think it's gonna work. I think Trump being the other side of this is actually he's gonna push markets up, because that's what Trump does. So I'm not worried about this at all. But we're gonna move along from that now. So this is actually pretty funny, this next thing here. So let me show you guys. So everyone knows FTX. So one of the guys at FTX, he's creating a perp dex basically for TradFi. So Brett Harrison, he created this, is called the Architect Finance team, and I excited to announce the launch of AX, the world's first centralized and regulated exchange for perpetual futures and traditional assets, FX, single stocks, ETFs, stocks, index, interest rates. So he's creating a perp dex for TradFi. So right now, and I actually didn't know that. I thought that TradFi had perps, but I realized that it was Arthur Hayes actually was one of the ones to actually create perps. And it might have been someone before him, but he was one of the ones that actually made it famous. And TradFi doesn't really use perps like we do over here. So now Brett Harrison and his former FTX guy is out here, and he's going to create that for TradFi. I'm actually curious what you guys' opinion on that. Do you guys think that TradFi will use perps the way we do over here? Because obviously it's one of the most used tools. Hyperliquid came out of nowhere right now, and is one of the biggest projects in crypto, period. Hydro Sapien says just print the money. So it looks like in December 1st, dude, we're tightening's over. So during the pause, they did say they will be potentially purchasing bonds. So it's almost like quantitative easing without quantitative easing is reported. We'll definitely see quantitative easing in May. I mean, without a doubt. And we do know every time we got quantitative easing, we've had a bull market. So and quantitative easing wasn't even a thing until 2008, and then after that, it's just been every single time. Markets almost need it. It's like the markets are addicted to quantitative easing right now. Our markets, TradFi is doing kind of fine in the tightening sector, but yeah, man. So we'll get out of this one, and then so what do you guys think about that? TradFi getting perps. Let me know what you guys think about that. So, all right, this one it really spoke to me here. So elliotrades is somebody that I really respect here, and he actually had this take. I'm gonna read this to you guys. So, hot take: if you hear someone saying that there's too many coins for alt season, they don't understand crypto. There have always been too many coins for the existing liquidity since I got here in 2017. Never once did every single coin pump. There has always been dead projects. The only metric that matters is Bitcoin dominance. When there's demand for alts, it won't be hard to find the winners. Think of this. You can create a website in 5 seconds. Does that make the sites like Amazon less valuable? Facebook, Twitter, Google? Of course not. Some websites are more valuable because of others, search engines. This is true of DEX coins, launchpads. They benefit from more coins, more trading. When alts are in demand, there will be huge winners with sustained rallies. Attention will power law of those, and boom, bang, pow, alt season. Due to Fed policy and macro flows, there's just not much demand for high-risk things right now. We're seeing the end of this regime. When it's fully shifts, the amount of tokens won't stop the good coins from winning. Delusional bulls will inherit the earth. So this is kind of what he means here, right? So once Bitcoin dominance kind of drops down, that's kind of when we see alt season. So right now, if you want to look at it, Bitcoin dominance is at 59%. So we just need this thing to kind of fall off a cliff here, and then we're headed potentially to a bull market. Right, we just need Bitcoin dominance fall. And the other big telltale is, in my opinion, the DXY. And we've seen and I've said this multiple times on the show, but every single time the DXY has dropped below this line we've seen in alt season. Every single time. Let me show you guys in the monthly. Actually, you can see it a little better. But every single time we have dropped below 96, we've seen an insane alt season. Look, this was 2017, 2018. This was 2021, 2021. And now potentially this will be 2026. If we can get this below here, I mean, it's going that way. It's only a matter of time, right? Even back here was a fake out before it actually happened. It's going to happen. Whether it happens here or here, we're going to see an alt season, probably, in my opinion. This is why I'm saying, for me, it's sell in May and go away. I think in May it's going to be absolutely insane. I think May, June will be the top, kind of going into the next, the next run up. But I do think you'll still find runners all the way from October, November, December, and maybe 2027 is a little bearish on its way up there, back up, because the dollar can only stay under for so long, right? Otherwise, we have a recession like we had back here in 2008, which I don't think we're going to have a recession. I think that up here, but I still think, during this time was probably, obviously, Bitcoin's biggest years were, 2008 to 2014. And that was during, the dollar being so destroyed. And then getting back up here, we're seeing, obviously, bear market. So in my opinion, as long as we get down here, as long as dominance drops and DXY drops, we're going to see an alt season, and we're going to see it probably in the next. It's going to be soon. It's going to be soon. Probably in the next 2-3 months, we're going to see the beginnings of a huge alt season. I think that is November, December, and January, and then maybe a little bit of break in February before a craziness happened going into March. But we will see. Only time will tell there. All right. Let's get into the next thing here. So this is not really crypto related, but I thought it was really interesting. OpenAI preparing for a potential IPO with a valuation exceeding $1 trillion. AI, dude, this is why I'm so bullish on AI projects. AI is going to be the biggest narrative. It's going to be the biggest narrative. It has to be, because it's the biggest narrative in TradFi, right? So for me, I'm just thinking that, once OpenAI gets on stock exchange, I think that's a risk on. I think that's when risk on really comes. So we'll see. But still started at $1 trillion. Absolutely insane. But I think that's still undervalued here. My man Stan says, hyperliquid in Singapore. If so, any US based perp ripoff at disadvantage with US laws. So hyperliquid is in Singapore, but I don't think that really matters because it's decentralized. And obviously, if you guys have a VPN, you guys can easily use it. I mean, I use it as well. So just get a VPN and you can use it. But, we'll probably see some ripoffs. I mean, we saw Aster already, which is Binance's version of that. So potentially, I think potentially we will see some ripoffs of that in the future there for sure. But yeah, man. And do me a favor, guys. I know I don't say this a lot. Please like the stream. If you guys wouldn't mind, I'm trying to get more people in here today. So like the stream, and if you're on Twitter, hit that repost for me. It'll definitely help the show here. We got a tweet from Bob Lucas. Nothing about crypto. So all right. Let's move along here. All right. So where were we? All right, let's kind of get into some. All right, so bear with me on this one. I discovered ERC 8004, and it's just been something that I can't stop researching. And I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly what 8004 is. So let me just show you. Get rid of this as well. All right, so all right. So what the heck is ERC 8004? Think of it as a reputation layer for on-chain agents, contracts, and wallets. It tracks trust, performance, credibility between on-chain actors like Yelp scores for crypto agents. Why it matters. Today, every wallet or contract looks the same. You don't know who's reliable. ERC 8004 adds a public reputation score that anyone can verify on-chain. It's trust built into the protocol layer. So think of ERC 8004 as an on-chain auditor that is actually in the contract itself. And then you can go check the reputation score. Who gives these scores? AI agents will give these scores as it's interacting with the contract. So if an AI agent interacts with the contract, it's going to give that contract a score depending on how that AI agent is programmed. So in the ERC 8004, from my knowledge, is that there's going to be a structure of how these agents are scoring this. There's going to be a bunch of different stuff, and how these agents score it is actually how they're going to get a reputation score on chain. So when agents are doing, your work or your bidding for you, if you're like, hey, create this for me or do this for me, the agent is going to be using potentially the agents with the best score or the smart contracts with the best score, and everything's going to be kind of built in with the ERC 8004. So ERC 8004 isn't a token standard. And I'll keep going here. So it's not a token. ERC 8004 isn't a token. It's like ERC 20. It's a metadata standard that attaches to the existing contracts or agents. So you can add ERC 8004 to a DEX, wallet, or AI agent. No need to create a new token. What it records: past interactions, ratings or audits results, past success, failure history, peer reviews from other contracts, all logged on chain, transparent, tamper-proof. Why AI plus ERC 804 is a big deal? AI agents are starting to trade, audit, and execute tasks on chain. ERC 804 gives them reputation framework so agents can trust or avoid each other automatically. It's how agents' economies stay clean. Imagine this: before a smart contract hires an AI agent, it checks reputation, completed trades, past last 3 audits. In short, ERC 20's value, ERC 721's ownership, this is NFT standard, and ERC 8004 equals trust. The future of smart contracts will soon audit each other than publish scores automatically. Your on-chain rep will matter more than your Twitter followers. Welcome to reputation era of crypto. So the entire crypto ecosystem about to get a reputation score. So there's gonna be sites you can go check, and you're gonna see the scoring of each deck. So there's gonna be a lot of DEXs popping up. There's gonna be a lot of dApps popping up, because dApps are getting easier and easier to create because of AI. And knowing who the good actors are from the bad actors, in my opinion, is going to be it's going to be hard to do. It's going to be so hard. But having trust scores on everything, on-chain trust scores to these agents that are actually giving these trust scores to these smart contracts, these DEXs, or other agents, is going to be critical, because you're going to know what information is reliable and what information is not. I think 8004 is one of the biggest innovations that we're going to have going forward in crypto, and no one's really even using it right now. Obviously we've seen the X402. So that was actually one of the biggest innovations that we've seen so far this year. But I think if you mix X402, which is for payments, and so if you don't know what 402 is basically an error code saying basically payment did not go through. X402 was basically Coinbase took that on chain and created that. So now agents are going to be able to pay each other from one agent to another. So let's just say this agent needs help on video editing that it is tasked to do. It can go to another agent and say, I'll pay you for this. And the other agent goes and does it for it. And then the person gets their video edited. So agents are going to be using the best agents for different things. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you just going to your assistant and saying, hey, hire me a plumber. The assistant goes and calls the plumber. So you'll go to your agent, your personal agent, and then you'll have it tasked with something, and it'll find the best, person to do that. So if you tell your assistant, say, hey, find me the best plumber, it's going to make sure that it goes to Yelp and finds the plumber with the best score. Same thing what your agent's going to do. It's going to go find whatever you're looking for with the best score. If this one's a 99 and its price is fair, it's going to go and it's going to pay that price to the agent. The agent's going to go work for it. This is the era we're going to live. So saying that, you're going to see a lot of dApps popping up as well, because you're going to just have your agent task, hey, build this dApp. I have an amazing idea for an NFT dApp, NFT marketplace. I want you to build it for me. Your agent's going to be able to build that in like 30 minutes using other agents. But how do you know that that smart contract that the agent built is correct? Well, it's going to have a score given by people that actually used it. This is absolutely huge. This is one of the biggest innovations, and we're going to be digging deep on that on the show for sure. I love this stuff. I think AI innovation is going to be some of the biggest winners in crypto, and it's the next meta. So definitely take a look. if you see a protocol that has the first ERC 8004, you're definitely going to want to potentially get in that. So let me know if you guys used 8004 at all. But I think it's going to be something that is pretty big in the future. And then I have this other one here. I think it's right here. Okay, no, I've read this one already. Yeah, but basically the same thing. Smart contract audits are going on chain. The next evolution of a trust in DeFi and AI ecosystems will run through ERC 8004, a new Ethereum standard built for reputation verification. So it basically breaks down the same thing. If you guys want to read these articles, they're on my Twitter page at @ChizzyOnChain. So check them out if you're interested on that. But we're going to be moving along. Let me know what you guys think about ERC 8004. All right. So yeah, so one of the biggest winners in that probably will be the virtuals ecosystem. So I've been deep diving in virtuals, and they already kind of have this, agent to agent usage now. So I can imagine that all these agents in the future are going to have these ERC 8004 reputation scores attached to them. I think that's a big deal for a lot of different reasons. The main reason is because how do you're actually getting a good product done without knowing what's the score of this one, what's the score of this one, what's the score of this one. So this is all coming, guys. Yelp scores are coming on chain. They're going to be in your favorite AI, and I am absolutely here for it. I absolutely love it. So, all right. So one of the biggest users right now, or I think a very undervalued project right now. And excuse me, I'm always just kind of lost here a little bit because I don't have Yagobi help me out, but I'm just trying to make sure that I find the right stuff with here it is. So all right, so this is Codex. It's basically said that we have now officially migrated from the internal credit system to X402. So they're actually now using X402. The founder of this is Justin Bibas. Justin was building over, and it's not Justin Bieber, it's Justin Bibas. Justin was building over on Phantom when I was over there. So he's a very experienced guy, especially with DeFi, but he moved the cycle into AI because that's where everyone should be moving, honestly. All builders should be building something in AI. So he built Codex. Very similar to Agent Hustle in a lot of ways, but different in a lot of ways as well. Codex agents can now consume intelligence from other agents with a simple 402 payment. So now his agent can do 402 payments. I think Codex sitting at around $3 million. Let me actually show that. So Codex kind of sitting at $3 million to me. These AI projects, guys, if you're following them now, if you're getting invested in X402 and ERC 8001 now, you're gonna make out very, very well. And I want you guys to at least, I'm not saying invest in anything, but at least I want you guys to learn this stuff, because this is something that I've been learning every single day. I'm looking in here. So Codex right now is about a $3.5 million market cap. And this is on Base and Solana. I think this is one of the biggest opportunities in crypto. Not even gonna lie, this could be eventually down the line $300 million market cap. I'm not even joking about that. Like, I think, I'm not saying next year, I'm saying the next 4 or 8 years. I think Codex and what Justin's building, absolutely insane. Santa is another one that I'm super bullish on. Sitting at $9 million. I'm hoping it keeps dropping a little bit. I would love to pick some up around the $4 or $5 million range there. So, and there's a lot of different stuff as well. Eigenlayer, Unibase came out of nowhere. Where'd this come from? I'll have to check that out. But yeah, definitely be over here. Type in X402 in your CoinGecko, and then or go to categories X402, and definitely start looking at this stuff. This is going to be some of the biggest winners in the next 3 months. I promise you guys. X402 and ERC 8004 are going to be some of the biggest winners. All right. All right. So this is awesome. It looks like we're going to see Flashnet get back up and get live here. So let me know if you guys have been messing with this. I'm very bullish on Spark. Let me show you what I'm thinking. So right now, obviously, we're still offline right here. But they are saying around 6 p.m. Eastern time today, which is about 7 hours from right now. We're going to go live. And I'm excited for this. I'm going to be probably depositing more Bitcoin here. I got a little bit so far, just kind of messing around. I got everything in beta cat right now. I got about a little less than 5 million beta cat. And you guys can look me up over here when the time comes, and just kind of you can track my trades. Don't copy trade me because I'm not I'm not the best. I'm just gonna be hanging out over here trying to find stuff to invest in. I am looking at Dragon. I think Dragon has a huge presence on X right now. Soon coin, everyone's talking about soon. It's definitely something that I'm interested in. Not really bullish on HODL or Milt. I might get a little bit of Milt though. Super Dog, another one that I'm kind of bullish on, but I'm going to be paying attention to here once it loads up. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to set my settings. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go to newest first. And what I'm going to be doing, and as they come in, I'm going to watch the holder count. I'm just going to sit here and just keep watching the holder count. If I see something with, climb in very quickly, I'm just going to throw $10 at it, $20 at it, and just let it ride. Every single time I see that. And I'm just going to sit here for hours on hours, probably 12, 13 hours. And I might go live for it. If you guys want me to go live for it, let me know. And I'm going to be sitting here, and I'm just going to be getting into different coins. I'll obviously be looking in the stretch and kind of seeing, but I want to get them before they enter stretch, because if I can get them at $14,000, $15,000 market cap, and then they go to 200K, I've already 8x my money. I turned, potentially $20 into 200, and then I'm happy. And then I potentially let that ride to 2,000 and maybe take profit a little bit there. But that's what I'm doing. Small money bets here. And I'm just going to get into as many projects as I possibly can. And after I do win on some of the projects, I'm going to be putting into, probably beta cat. I want to get as much beta cat as I can. I do see beta cat potentially getting to 30 million. Because I say that because Odin, when Odin first launched, you saw Odin Dog get to about 30 million. So that's kind of where my mind's at. I think 30 million is probably my exit. I'm probably going to get out fully once beta cat hits 30 million. I'm probably going to get out everything, because that's kind of where Odin kind of topped locally before it came back down and it really started to run up again. So let me know what you guys think about this. But yeah, so I put $500 into this so far. I was lucky enough to catch beta cat at really, really early, 100K, because I was just standing there looking at it. Okay, here it is right here. I've been trading it too, a little bit, trying to not the best trades, but look at this. So this is the second candle. So these are 1 minute candles. And I caught it on the second candle. So I got into like 100K. So I did really, really well on beta cat. And the reason I like beta cat is this. Look up top here. What do you see? Yeah, it's the Luminex logo and beta cat, which tells me potentially somebody with insider knowledge of when this was going to launch posted this. So it's obviously just a screenshot of that, but I think this thing could run, and I think it could run really hard. Potentially 30 million. You can get it potentially at 30x here. Obviously the dev did dump, which I think is absolutely awesome. So where's the dev dump? There it is. The dev sell. So the dev is completely out. He had about 6 million tokens. He dumped them all. So that's really good to see. And the fact that we dumped it here and climbed back up. I think a lot of people are going to be trying to get into beta cat when it launches. So for me, I'm going to be adding more money here, probably around like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I'm going to be gearing up for when it launches to get into soon. Get into Dragon. And I did pretty well in soon as well. I got in soon around 20K, but I got out too early. I got out around 200K. I did like a 10x on that, and I fully got out and then put the proceeds in the beta cat. So that was cool. Super Dog again. I think this was something. I think Luminex posted a video, and Super Dog was one of the tokens in that. So it's just some people are just playing on that. Dragon was also posted by Xverse. With the same logo and everything. It was like a testnet token. So that's another reason why I'm kind of bullish on Dragon there as well. So let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to be getting into this? Like I said, 6 p.m. tonight. It does look like Flashnet will be back there. So I'm going to be definitely messing around and being a part of what Flashnet and building here. I like Luminex over UTXO.fun. I haven't really used UTXO. I used it last time it launched, but I like Luminex because mainly this, right? You can see where they launched at, and you can see they have the UTXO.fun logo. So, you can still get UTXO.fun coins here. So you don't got to worry about it. So that's kind of like, I do like this. If you guys don't know what the bullet thing is, I think this is like a bot protector. So when you're in here and you're firing away, throwing $50 at stuff, just be aware that you only have so many bullets. So you have to like wait. So they do this so bots just can't come in and just attack. So it is something that I'll be paying attention to because I don't want to I don't want to run out of bullets when I'm trying to like keep sniping coins. So you have to be like a little bit more patient over here, which I do like. So let me know. Yeah, for sure. So all right. So next thing here, bump.fun. So this is going to be, it's going to be on Arch. So I created a token this morning. This is just testnet. I highly recommend you guys come over here. This could be potential some type of airdrop in the future for people to use testnet. So come over here, create a token, send your token to 29,000. I think it's the highest thing. So you can just create a coin. You go through this stuff right here, and then but you can load any wallet up. It doesn't matter. I loaded my Xverse wallet up. I got Arch, and like for instance, when you come over here, like I said, this is all testnet. But I think getting in early into these launch pads are very, very pivotal to your success. That's why like Illuminex and stuff, I was super early to that. I had it on my screen for hours before it actually launched, because I think getting into these coins at 100K, 700K, 1 million is going to be really critical for success. I'm not somebody who's very bullish on Pump Fund. I don't use it ever, but getting into this type of stuff, and who knows, right? I might get an airdrop. I created Shizzy coin and I sent it over here. This is testnet, so I don't really care what happens with this. So for instance, like I'll come over here and I'll just do 100% max sell. I'll sell Shizzy and my wallet will pop up here. Like I said, this is all Arch testnet. So potentially I might be earning Arch points as well for when Arch does launch. So I'm going to hit sell. My wallet is now connected. I'm going to hit sign. And boom. Oh, it failed. All right, let's do 75. Sell Shizzy. Sign. There you go. Big red candle. And then let's buy it back up. Let's go back to buy. Let's go 50. We'll buy the Shizzy back up here. Sign it. And I think I'm earning value. I think, I don't know. And then 30 more. Let's go. Let me go 40. Okay, I can only do 35.097. So we'll 35.097. And we'll buy the Shizzy back up. Yeah, so I'm just doing that. I'm just trying to get volume over here. Like I said, it is a test net for Arch. Does look like it's launching potentially in Q4, Q1. I'm not 100% which, but I'm definitely bullish on what Matt and that team is building over there. So definitely go over to Bump. Just start an account. Just mess around with it. Create a token, because potentially this is just me thinking. They haven't said anything about an airdrop, but that's kind of usually what happens. So this was the Bump. This is Arch Network that came out with this morning. Bump Fund went live on Arch last week, making it starts of Bitcoin's on-chain economy. So this is what the other, remember the other one that came out was about? Yeah, I don't know. But let's kind of get into today's fear and greed. We're sitting at around 34. It does feel that way. Everyone does feel really scared on the timeline. Everyone feels really worried. Especially in the Bitcoin ecosystem, especially with BIP 8004. So that's kind of the reason why Bitcoin is kind of scary. But in the sense of everything else, 34. Do you guys feel 34? I don't know. I don't know if I really feel, maybe I feel less. I don't know. I don't feel anything anymore. But yeah. Let's jump into today's roll call. Let's see who's here. My guy Lackey Luke, my guy No. Actually got the first comment of the day. Shout out to No. I got you on there. Your first win of the year. Congratulations to you. Every single day, don't know what this is. Every single day we take the first comment on YouTube and we put it on a spreadsheet. So let's kind of get and see who's here today. We got Bitcoin is Truth is here. The legend himself. Abstract, my guy. K99 is here. Vader Time. It's a bull market on Spark. I do think you'll be able to make money on Spark tonight. I really do. Abstract is here. Satoshi Nakamoto. Chips and Dip. Webdro is here. Shout out to Webdro. Chief Axel, the legend himself. Rolando is here. Stan again. Mice Elf. Webdro. Lucky Lukey. Hydro Sapien and Stan. Myself says, I sense other people's fear. I feel you, man. What are you into, myself? What do you I'm curious of how you're treating the markets right now. Are you just trading perps? Are you buying altcoins? Let me know what you're doing. I would love to kind of pick your brain and kind of see what you're up to there. But let's kind of see what else I have up here. All right, so this is going back to Spark here. So Kojo, shout out to Kojo. He says, so 7 tokens have graduated on Luminex. It would have been way more if Flashnet didn't crash, obviously. Once trading goes live around 10 p.m. UTC, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time, I think most paper hands will sell. He's saying he thinks that people are going to sell when it opens back up. But he said it's going to give him good entries on Beta Cat, Soon, and Dragon. These are the 3 that he wants to get into. There are also 3 that I want to get into as well. I want to get more Beta. I want to get more Sparkcoin and more Dragon. 100%. And the comments there are really good as well. So let me know what you guys think about that. Curious to kind of see there. All right. So today I kind of put out a troll tweet. I said, I'm convinced the Bitcoin L1 era is over. Most builders have shifted focus to L2s and new chain designs. Bit 444 drove many away, and miners care more about abstraction than innovation. Spark, Odin, and Merlin are leading the next phase. Casey seems to regret what runes become. BRC 2.0 feels like a ghost chain, and while altcoins have potential, progress looks slow. And you know, the interactions were pretty nuts here. You got people shilling Tap, shilling altcoins. All I said was altcoins progress is slow, and this guy's telling me that I'm wrong. I'll look into it. You know, NFT supply basically said, you know, on the summer spaces that runes were dead, and he was right. Shout out to Marvin. He says, I hear you, but I do disagree. Bitcoin DeFi will mostly be driven by L1 simply because that's where most liquid exists. So yeah, I hear you that Bitcoin has 2 trillion, but 1.9 trillion of that will never use anything on L1. They barely move their Bitcoin. It's just sitting locked in wallets. There is more liquid, you know, Ethereum than there is Bitcoin. Most of the Bitcoin is just trapped in horror wallets and potentially won't ever see the light of day until maybe never. I mean, especially sailors, right? And then you had, you know, Scott came out and he's like, shout out Scott, man. I love Scott. Scott from RadFi, absolutely awesome to hear. He says, nah, man, RadFi just getting started, but I hear you. And then Shin says, ignore the black pill doomsdayers. And then Scott did come back in and say something else. But, you know, I like what they're building with RadFi. But if I have to deposit into a trading wallet, to me, it's the same as taking my Bitcoin and sending it to Merlin, sending it to, you know, a Spark, sending it to Odin. To me, there's no difference. And people can say, oh, well, you know, it's not self-getting. No one gives a shit no more. With, you know, people using Aster and Hyperliquid and all these, you know, custodian things, right? All these people like Hyperliquid, you deposit in. Aster, you deposit in. Courtyard, deposit in. You know, people don't care anymore. I just think there's so many consequences for these chains now than there has ever been. And I just think the trust factor is something, I mean, you always have to keep it in the back of your mind because you are trusting these people to hold your Bitcoin and to give it back when you want it back. But I don't know. I don't think it's the big deal as it was in prior cycles. Trying to get here. And then, oh yeah, this guy's funny. He says OpNet. Does anyone here even look at OpNet anymore? Like, honestly, I think OpNet, I don't know. I don't know. Those guys, I'm actually surprised they're still building. I really am. But yeah, we'll see if they've ever come out there. Let me see what else I have here. Talked about this. So Farmer Joe says Beta, Akita, and UTXO. So UTXO and Akita, there are 2 coins that launched prior to the launch pads. Egg Dog. What the hell is Egg Dog? I don't know what that is. But you know, you've seen other stuff. You can see them on here, Akita and stuff like that. So I don't know. But I'm definitely bullish on Beta. I think Beta is going to be one of the big winner. I have to look into Egg Dog. Egg Dog's, I don't know why it's sitting at number 1 here. It's hot. But yeah, so let me know. Are you guys getting into this? Are you guys going to be messing around over here? Let me know. All right. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Really kind of looking into it tomorrow with the Bitcoin monthly returns. We'll see there. But yeah, man. Okay, it does look like, oh, the longs are back. We're seeing the longs back. What's the price of Bitcoin now? Damn, still pretty low. So it does look like people are kind of looking in Bitcoin right now. and the longs are kind of back here. DYDX all long again. I love seeing it. We're going to see some short squeezes today. We're going to see it, guys. It's time to go long again. Kind of see what is going on over there. But I think that's our show for you guys today. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. No Yago B today, so the show was definitely harder. There's not anyone to kind of go back and forth with. So those shows are very, it's harder to go longer with those shows. But if you guys have some time and wouldn't mind checking out Sats Terminal, Sats Terminal is another place where you guys can get potential, swapping of your Spark tokens. Highly recommend if you guys do trade Spark, you guys can just come here and you can get a key and beta and stuff like that. Obviously, it's offline right now, and I think they have unavailable right now. But once 6 p.m., which is 6 hours from right now, once that comes live again, you'll be able to trade it here. They do have, if you have Bitcoin and you want to take a loan against it, they do it in a non-custodial way. And this is just an aggregator where they aggregate your Bitcoin, so you can just take a loan out on your Bitcoin, and potentially you guys can use that money in some fun stuff. But definitely check out everything they're building with Sats Terminal. Very bullish on them. And then highly recommend you guys check out Agent Hustle. Agent Hustle and what they're building for Emblem Vault is, in my opinion, one of the biggest innovations. Big news today. They're going to be coming out with a new partner. I'm actually curious to see who it's going to be. But the way it was being hyped up on X, that it's going to be someone big, someone really big. So curious to see what that is. And if you guys don't have any Agent Hustle, I definitely think you should do it before that announcement comes out in an hour, or maybe it's 2 hours. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so I'm just bullish on Jake. I don't get bullish on projects per se. I get bullish on the builders. Like, I'm really bullish on Jeff from Merlin Chain. That's why we've been partnered with them for so long, and partnered with Jake as well and Sats Terminal. I'm bullish on founders. Founder mode to me is something huge. Like, I don't get bullish on project. I get bullish on founders. And I think you guys should definitely do too. But yeah, definitely check out Agent Hustle. And they do have migrate.fun as well. Migrate.fun. We do know there's some huge migrations that are going to be happening on the 4th of November, I think Jake said. We're going to have them on tomorrow, but we're saying right now it's going to be linked, and there's going to be 2 more. And then the end of the month, Jake was saying there's going to be a huge one of like 20. But this is all powered by Agent Hustle token as well. That's why I'm another reason why I'm bullish on the Agent Hustle token itself. And then if you guys have some time, definitely check out Merlin Chain. If you have Bitcoin and you want to get some rewards for holding it, you guys can stake it over there. And let me actually show this as well. So you get 17% APR for staking. Well, 8 to 21%. It's average about 17% APR for staking your Bitcoin over here. And if you have the Merlin token, you guys can stake the Merlin token as well. You have 15% APY. This one is a non-lock. You can, you can request getting your tokens, and then 7 days later, your tokens will be available. And they do have a 6-month lockup, which you can get 45% APY on your Merlin tokens. So if you do have Merlin tokens, highly recommend you guys stake them. If you are bullish on a long term, like I am, like I said, I'm bullish on Jeff as a builder. Very, very bullish on Jeff. I think what those guys are building over there is truly remarkable. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. And if you do get a few more minutes, wouldn't mind checking out OnChain Revolution.io with some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. Check out all the articles here. X402, you guys can really get in-depth read there. And then a VPN. I use a VPN here every single day. Lock it in for 2 years. You get an extra 3 months, $2.99. You can't beat that. For around $70, you get 27 months. You can use now with this. You can use Hyperliquid, MEXC, and so much more. So definitely check that out as well. And yeah, and then if you're bullish on that, you guys can get some merch here. I'm gonna be adding some more merch to the site as well. So definitely check out all the merch and everything we have available here. Really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Normal show back at it tomorrow. Yagobi will still be away, but he's going to be with us. Kind of hanging out there as well. So we will see, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and see you tomorrow. Peace.
OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go, Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear traps. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction.